On Authentic Ag, we have a conversation with USDA Under Secretary Bill Northey. We'll talk market facilitation payments as well as the latest CRP sign-ups. Some of the issues we'll cover, plus information from Kansas Corn, Kansas Wheat, as well as Kansas Livestock Association and Paragon Ag Advisors. I'm Ken Rahjes. This is Authentic Ag. Brought to you in part by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Kansas Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farm and ranch families since 1919, KFB.org. And the Kansas Wheat Commission, lending in the adoption of profitable innovations from wheat, online at kswheat.com.
Welcome to the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center, right here in my hometown of Oakley, Kansas. We're the front door of Western Kansas, located on three main highways, I-70, US 83, and US 40. And all those roads lead to history, beautiful scenery, and adventure, no matter which direction you go. We now have an IHOP. That brand that you've trusted up and down the road in all your travels is staffed with local folks, real people, just like you and me, and we're waiting on you to join us. So for fun, adventure, fuel up, fuel your body, and let's have some fun.
In agriculture news from agview.net, Ag Secretary Sonny Perdue announced the second round of market facilitation program payments will be headed out to farmers suffering from those trade retaliation by foreign nations. The payments should begin any time now, and producers of eligible commodities will now be eligible to get 25% of the total payment expected, in addition to the 50% they already received. He said the second round of payments, along with the already provided disaster assistance, will give farmers who've had a tough year due to unfair trade retaliation and natural disaster much needed funds in time for Thanksgiving and the holiday season. He went on to say, while we continue to have confidence in the president's negotiations with China, the money will show that President Trump is following through on his promise to help and support farmers as he continues to fight for fair market access. We might recall earlier this year, President Trump authorized USDA to provide up to $16 billion in aid through various programs. That's in line with the estimated impact of the retaliatory tariffs on U.S. agriculture goods and other trade disruptions. Well, farm credit conditions within the Federal Reserve's 10th District steadily deteriorated in the third quarter of this year. The Kansas City Fed report says that in spite of the slight increase in the price of some agriculture goods as well as additional support from government payments, farm income declined at a modest pace. Loan repayment rates also declined at a modest pace in the third quarter. District bankers say agriculture economic conditions were influenced by uncertainty about crop production, agriculture trade uncertainty, as well as a variety of other factors, all contributing to commodity price fluctuations. Continuing weakness in the ag sector put even more pressure on farm finances, and signs of modest increase in credit stress continued in the third quarter. Farm borrowers made additional cuts in spending in response to the continued lower revenue environment. 75% of bankers reporting farmer working capital deteriorating at least modestly in 2019, compared with 90% as recently as 2016. Farmland values, though, continue to be a positive note in the sector. Those values remain stable and continue to provide ongoing support to an otherwise struggling economic sector. And on farms large and small across the U.S., the number of women making decisions is growing. Against that backdrop, and especially in view of the current struggling farm economy, Kansas State University hosting a four-part series of workshops focused on helping women sharpen their farm financial management skills. More than 25,500 women are the decision makers on Kansas farms, and they farm more than 14 million acres, according to the USDA's latest census of agriculture. Overall, in 2017, 36% of all agriculture producers across the nation were women. That's up from 31.5% in 2012. 56% of farms had at least one female decision maker. Now, the sessions of all these are on Wednesdays, starting on January the 15th, and they'll be in the evening. They'll be offered in 31 locations around the state, a combination of broadcast keynote as well as local speakers. Find more at agmanager.info. You can find more information on all these ag stories at agview.net. We'll have more coming up.
Kim Mannering with Hardy Insurance. Today we will talk about employee safety and work comp coverage. On your farm, do you ask your friends to come help? Are they considered employees or neighbors helping neighbors? Did you know that you can be held responsible just as if it's a work comp accident? Give me a call, we can discuss. 316-945-6733.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well on their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, and we're glad to answer and work with you.
Joining us now is Bill Northey, Under Secretary for the USDA, and one of the good guys, and just so glad to have you serving the farmers, of course, as a working farmer as well, but USDA, especially with what you kind of help oversee, you've been busy. Let's first kind of maybe go through that list. The top of the mind of farmers is market facilitation. The next tranche looks like it is in the queue as we speak.
It is. So our part of responsibilities, Farm Service Agency, NRCS, and Crop Insurance Risk Management Agency. Out of FSA is those MFPs, and we've announced, the Secretary announced, we will have a second round of payments of this, which will be 25% of the total. Producers should have received already 50% of the total. Of course, we do have a end date for sign up of December 6th. So producers after that, unless something extends, would not be able to sign up for that program. But we are looking at making that second round of payments in this MFP. That'll total $3 to $3.5 billion in that second round, about 50% of what a producer got in the first round.
So it's just kind of the way the plan was. The plan is working.
It is. It is now, and I sure hope the other part of the plan. I hope. We're getting closer to an agreement.
Right.
That's certainly, this is to bridge to that next agreement where we not only get those markets back, soybeans and pork and cotton, but we also get those new markets that we need as well.
You have also, working with those who were faced with challenge because of prevent planning and just because of delays, delaying crop insurance premium payments to get some of these things ironed out.
We're seeing a lot of harvest issues in lots of part of the country. I was in North Dakota on Friday and Saturday this last week, and they only have 15% of their corn harvested with snow on the ground and cold freezing weather and just a real mess. So we had delayed the due date of those premiums, those crop insurance premiums, from October 1 to December 1. We're now delaying that another 60 days to February 1. So if you make your crop insurance payment before February 1, we'll not have any interest due. Interest would start after that. But in the interest of folks having issues in cash flow, us being able to settle insurance claims, it makes sense to be able to delay that.
Right. Elections also going on for those farmers who want to serve in their local boards.
We do have that, and so certainly our county board system at Farm Service Agency is a great system, but it takes people being able to serve. And we certainly encourage folks to do that, and then to make sure for others to go out and make your choices and make your votes known, and it's important to be able to get that done as well.
We're talking with Bill Northey, Under Secretary at USDA. Let's take a break. We're going to talk CRP coming up in just a moment.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Kim Mannering with Hardy Insurance. Today we will talk about umbrella coverage. Did you know that if you're held liable in any type of accident, the judgment can claim your assets? Please give me a call so we can discuss. 316-945-6733.
And our special guest is Bill Northey, Undersecretary, USDA, and Mr. Undersecretary. Always Mr. Undersecretary. I like to call you Bill, but still,
Bill.
I know.
Absolutely.
But other thing coming up shortly is another sign up for Conservation Reserve Program, and again, it's kind of one of those programs that continues to evolve. A lot of times, a number of years ago, we kind of celebrated a milestone, but now looking at it, dare we say it's maybe even a modern CRP?
You know, it really is. So I think CRP started in some ways in the 80s to be able to get some land out of production, but it also was addressing soil erosion. Now it addresses water quality, or really in the early 90s, late 90s, also wildlife. So it is a mix of all those needs. And we have an environmental benefits index that attempts to measure that balance. And then producers bid for their interest in being in. Maybe we both want to do the same things, but you're willing to take a slightly lower amount than I am, and so your bid is accepted, mine might not be. We will have another round of this open CRP bidding process starting in December. Not set the start date, we're still waiting for some rules to come back. Probably be open maybe 2 or 3 months. And there will be a cap, according to this last farm bill, there'll be a cap on those rental rates.
Right.
To 85% of the county average rental rate. Those rental rates will be posted on farmers.gov next week, so producers can go there and see that county average rental rate and see what they need to stay below to be able to have a competitive bid.
And is that really kind of where we're heading? Because I know there's some groups that say, well, do we really need a CRP program, or are there other programs maybe that could be enhanced to get some of the same benefits we're wanting to reach?
You know, there is, and there's also a continuous enrollment
Yes.
CRP, a general enrollment CRP, a conservation reserve enhancement program. So it has evolved into several different pieces, and some conservation activities fit better in one of those buckets than others. So we have more flexibility, but still, the biggest share of the acres will have over 20 million acres in the general enrollment CRP. That's a big amount of acres out there. Now, it's certainly been a while since producers really had a chance to sign up for that program as well.
Right. Okay, before I let you go, I would be remiss and probably get a lot of grief, but I didn't ask you about hemp,
Okay,
especially with the RMA, with risk management, with the availability possibly of crop insurance. I guess it will be made available, but maybe in a way, is that something that you've heard a lot of feedback from producers, those that want to get involved in that industry?
There's a great deal of interest in hemp, and all around the country, everywhere I've been, say they're going to be the new center of hemp production. We are going to have some tools. They're going to be limited to start with. We're going to have some availability of loans, conservation programs as well. It's going to be a challenge, but we're going to get and be able to help producers that want to grow hemp.
All right, Mr. Undersecretary, always great to see you. Thanks for spending some time with us.
You bet.
Bill Northey, Undersecretary of USDA, our guest. Stay with us. We'll have more in just a moment.
What if U.S. soybean meal were more than a commodity? If seed companies and the soybean checkoff built a better variety? That future is here. The time is now. To meet end-user demands, the soybean checkoff is investing in the compositional quality of soybeans, including meal. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Kansas Farm Bureau has served farm families in rural Kansas for more than 100 years. We're pleased to offer new health care coverage choices for Kansans in 2020 through Kansas Farm Bureau Health Plans. No matter what stage of life you're in, we'll have options that fit your lifestyle. Plus, our network of providers is one of the largest available throughout the state of Kansas and beyond. For more information, including the different plans available, or to get a quote, visit kfbhealthplans.com.
Hello, I'm Dr. Frank Lyons from Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center here in Manhattan, Kansas. Daryl was one of our patients that we did about 7 months ago.
I dug trees by hand for years and years and years. In the process, I wore out my rotator cuff. But when I learned about this process, I thought if there was a way to get rid of this pain, then I want to do it. So we did it and it worked. I'm not going to go out and dig trees with a shovel anymore, but I can do the things that I want to do now.
Well, it's been very gratifying to help people with their painful joints and other entities, and it's been especially gratifying to be able to help people who I know and have worked with and known for many years.
Josh Rowe serve as Vice President for Policy and Market Development for Kansas Corn. And Kansas Corn just got done participating in the U.S. Grains Council's first ever Global Ethanol Summit. It encompassed over 400 participants from 60 countries. Kansas Corn hosted a pre-tour before the summit from the delegation from India, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka, and we were able to show them ethanol and corn production in the Wichita, Pratt area, all the way from the cornfield to the fuel pumps distributing the ethanol. The ethanol export market's a very growing market. In fact, it's grown by over 18% annually over the last 5 years, making it the largest growing agricultural export market through there. In 2018, exported right at 1.5 billion gallons of ethanol from the United States, and the Grains Council has a goal actually of increasing that to 4 billion gallons by 2022. So very important there as it stands now. Our largest export markets are Brazil, Canada, and India there, and we're always looking to get into those high population areas. Obviously a lot of potential growth in India, so it was great to get on the ground with some people from the Indian government and the oil companies to show the great product that we offer through there as they move to enforcing an E10 standard similar to what we have here in the United States.
Kim Mannering with Hardy Insurance. Today we will talk about umbrella coverage. Did you know that if your cattle get out, you could be held liable for that? Call me. Let's have a discussion. 316-945-6733.
Surecrop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well on their planting systems and what they're doing. Surecrop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, and we're glad to answer and work with you.
Agriculture information on your computer or mobile device. News and views on grains, livestock, policy, and opinions from newsmakers can be found by liking AgView on Facebook, and on Twitter, follow AgView News. A reliable and relevant source, agview.net.
As a key part of its commitment to transparency and trade service, U.S. Wheat Associates produces an annual crop quality report that includes grade, flour, and baking data for all 6 U.S. wheat classes. The report compiles comprehensive data from analysis of hundreds of samples conducted during and after harvest by partner organizations and laboratories. It provides essential objective information to help buyers get the wheat they need at the best value possible. U.S. Wheat Associates also shares more detailed regional reports for all 6 U.S. wheat classes on its website at uswheat.org. The annual crop quality seminars are already underway and will continue over the next few weeks around the world. Kansas Wheat CEO Justin Gilpin recently presented quality data about hard red winter wheat at seminars in South America. He said South America is a priority market for Kansas wheat. Hard red winter wheat is an excellent fit for many of this market's needs, and there's an increased interest in hard red winter with current market conditions. These seminars allowed for direct discussions on expanding those opportunities and growing markets for U.S. wheat in this region. The 5 seminars were held in Brazil, Colombia, and Peru. The seminars dive into grade factors, protein levels, flour extraction rates, dough stability, baking loaf volume, noodle color and texture, and more for all 6 U.S. wheat classes. In 2019, U.S. Wheat Associates is projected to host 43 seminars in 41 countries.
For a few weeks each year, historic Lecompton turns into a living Christmas village as dozens of volunteers, thousands of ornaments, and hundreds of trees come together to transform the Territorial Capitol Museum into a Christmas postcard. The spirit of Christmas engulfs the town and all who visit.
Merry Christmas from historic Lecompton.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
According to the U.S. Meat Export Federation, U.S. beef exports to Japan continue to reflect the tariff rate gap between U.S. beef and its competitors. September exports were 14% below last year in both volume and value. For the first 3 quarters of the year, exports to Japan were 4% below last year's pace in volume and 5% lower in value. The decline was steeper for beef muscle cuts, which were down 10% in volume, valued at $1.22 billion. USMEF indicated beef variety meat exports to Japan, mainly tongues and skirts, have been a bright spot in 2019, increasing 26% in volume and 15% in value at $290.8 million. While these items also face higher tariffs compared to competitors' products, the rate is 12.8% versus 38.5% for U.S. muscle cuts. USMEF President and CEO Dan Hallstrom said Japan still is delivering excellent value for U.S. beef producers, and with a level playing field, the U.S. beef industry will move a wider range of products to customers in Japan and capitalize on emerging growth opportunities. The U.S. and Japan signed a bilateral agreement last month that will make U.S. beef more competitive with beef going into Japan from Australia, Canada, Mexico, and New Zealand. Set to go into effect January 1st of 2020, the trade deal will reduce tariffs on fresh, chilled, and frozen beef from the current 38.5% to 9% over 15 years.
Agriculture information on your computer or mobile device, news and views on grains, livestock, policy, and opinions from newsmakers can be found by liking AgView on Facebook, and on Twitter, follow AgView News, a reliable and relevant source, agview.net.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.